we had Joanna, who played Sunny, there the whole time. She was just off camera, and she had this sort of gear, this helmet on her head, and this camera, and this sort of little screen ahead of her, so that she was...
Hi, I'm Jonathan Blumberg, writing for movies in Sweden.
Hello, lovely to meet you.
Right back at you. So I'm loving this show. It's such a journey to go on, and I was just wondering how you guys kind of found this project to start out with, and realized that, oh, this is something I really want to go to Japan and make.
The show is inspired by a novel called The Dark Manual by Colin O'Sullivan, which was something that had crossed my desk, and I was really drawn to some of the themes that it dealt with in terms of loss and what a person does after kind of undergoing a tremendous familial trauma. And I loved this character, Susie Sakamoto, who is just like this kind of like prickly, sardonic badass, who has created a sort of emotional armor for herself in her dark sense of humor. And so, and it was set in Japan, which is one of my favorite places in the world. And so I sort of took some of the kernels there and twisted it a little bit and made Sunny a female robot, and used it as a way of kind of talking about female friendship and isolation, and incorporated a sort of mystery kind of thriller, twisty, turny spine in it, to use that as a Trojan horse for talking about the themes that I was excited to talk about. And then Lucy came aboard and created this gorgeous world that we got to spend many months shooting.
Yeah. So just for you, Lucy, going over there to shoot this in Japan. I'm guessing neither of you speak the language from before.
No.
No.
We did not. We still don't really.
We have our little phrases.
Yeah, I think over the course of many months here, picked up a few phrases. I'm sort of ashamed to say that I don't speak more than I do right now, given how long we were there. But God damn, it's a hard language to learn. We were very grateful to be speaking via interpreters a lot, which, was something I hadn't done before when shooting. So it was something that took a bit of getting used to, but we got there in the end.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, when you kind of are on set and do certain scenes that you feel like, oh, this should be in this way. Mm-hmm. Was there any times where the cast or crew who were based in or from Japan was like, no, this isn't how we actually would do it?
100%.
What was the...
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I think was so influential in making the show here. It wasn't just, I think, a lot of shows and movies might do sort of a little block of exteriors here, but then shoot the rest elsewhere. Yeah. But because we were so immersed in the culture and we were working with a predominantly Japanese crew, they kept us honest. They made sure, and we had to, had to sort of be very open and listen, and it was a really collaborative experience. Making sure that we were being sort of authentic and true to the culture as possible, and that meant having to be quite like flexible and adapting to what we were hearing. And that was so important for the both of us. Like, we did a hell of a lot of research up front, but then when we were there, like in real time, kind of like changes happened according to the feedback we were given, in order to kind of keep things as they should be.
Yeah, and finally the robots. But like Sunny, from what I've gathered, this is you went the extra mile to make it as like working with the robot. How was that for you as a director on set as well to shoot?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way of doing scenes with a robot that isn't going to present challenges. Like, it's just about which challenges you want to take. And we, rather than the challenge of Rashida or whoever the other, or any of the other actors working opposite just a tennis ball on a stand, we wanted it to feel as sort of real and authentic for them as possible. And I wanted to be able to give notes to the robot and to any of the other actors, and for them to sort of be as spontaneous as two other humans would. So we had Joanna, who played Sunny, there the whole time. She was just off camera, and she had this sort of gear, this helmet on her head, and this camera, and this sort of little screen ahead of her, so that she was having her facial expressions and her voice captured, and in real time that was being translated with this sort of motion capture / like Apple Memoji style technology, like onto Sunny's rear projected face. And then there was someone else doing the arms and someone else driving her. It took a real village to create Sunny, and that was easier on stage when we were shooting on the studio than it was out in the world. But it took a real dedicated, incredible, collaborative team effort to bring her to the screen. But I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I do too. So thanks a lot for going that extra mile, and best of luck with the premiere now.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.